Wake up, it's Monday, you know what that means. Twitter day, time for your Twitter news. Let's see what's going on here. I think we've got new Dawn ID review, and then it looks like there's like update notice. And then I heard there's news, there's a lot of news. So, I cannot wait for this. Apparently, there's a lot of update notice. This thing has 8 attachments on it or something, so sheesh, that's interesting. Or not attachments, but you know, there's a lot of there's a lot. So, thankfully again, those who are looking for just the ID review, it's gonna be at the start. Very cool. Uh, Here we go. Cinq South Section 5 Director Don Quixote. Sure. Uh, you know, fun fact, I actually originally learned this word, like, years ago. I originally learned this word as, the Italian pronunciation of the word. I learned it as chink, because the Italians pronounce it as, the full word as cinque, which is, like, 5. Uh, but because she's French, the French people pronounce it as Cinq. So, you know, I guess I'll be using that. And also because, I mean, chink sounds like I'm saying a racial slur. So, so you know, we'll use the French pronunciation. So it's Cinq South Section 5 Director Don Quixote, sure. Uh, you got 2 coins on everything and a good Sin lineup. I like this. I don't know if I would... Lust is not the greatest for a skill 1, but Lust is not the greatest for a skill 1, to be honest. But Gloom and Pride is good to see at least. You like both of these resources for sure. And I'm just looking like... why is this... Don't we have another Fleisch skill? Am I crazy? Am I crazy for thinking that we have another skill that's just called yeah, what the hell? I mean, I guess they both... Wait, no, he doesn't even use a rapier, though. He uses just a longsword. Uh... Because, like, what is it? I don't remember exactly how to pronounce it, but it's a fleisch, I'm pretty sure. It's like a fencing maneuver, which is, you know, what he does. But, like... I don't know, that's weird. I feel like it would be more appropriate to be on Don, but whatever. We got full Pierce. Like to see it. I'm tired of getting blunt IDs, to be honest, so I think we have enough blunt damage. The last, like, 3 or 4 banners in a row have just been blunt, so... Except for, like, I guess Mersalt has, like, slash primarily. His skill 1 is blunt, but we don't really count it that much. So, all Pierce is nice to see. We do kind of want some Pierce and slash damage. It's nice. And then obviously, fair warning, I mean, this is, you know, she's inevitably going to be compared to W Corp Dawn, but usually I do my rankings in a vacuum. I do my rankings themselves, like I do my ID reviews in a vacuum. And then, at the end, when I give the final number rating, is when I say, you know, in the grand scheme of the meta compared to everything else she could be doing, is she going to be meta? The final number is compared to her other IDs. But when I review the ID itself, I do it in a vacuum always. So anyways, surely she won't be poised. That's the only thing I was scared about. At X plus speed, gain coin power plus Y. Clash win, gain haste next turn. Hit after Clash win, inflict bind next turn. Wait, this is actually really good utility already. This is really good utility already. At X plus, so she's like a speedy little goblin. All right, I kind of like that. And she gives herself haste on skill 1. I imagine it's only going to be like 1 haste, but that's still pretty good. That's free haste right there. Literally free. So that's an extremely powerful effect. Bind next turn on a skill 1 is also really good. Like really good. Like one of the better debuffs in the game. And hit after Clash win, this is on her second coin. So, reminder, in case you've forgotten how clashing works with coins, if you lose the clash with this skill, the first coin to get removed is coin 1. So if you lose the first clash and then win the second clash, she will have her second coin. Only her second coin. So even if you lose the first coin in the clash, she'll still inflict the bind, which is really it's just a nice touch, you know? Just a nice touch. Uh, then we have Flash on use, gain haste next turn. Clash win, deal more damage based on the clash count. Uh, that's, I mean, mostly a gimmick. It's not going to actually be not going to actually be used. Pretty much, it's just straight RNG. But it's a funny gimmick, I guess. On hit, inflict bind next turn. So that's really good. Doesn't she synergize really hard with Ryoshu too? With like hypothetically, if she has actually like decent numbers on her bind, yeah. Look, if target has 3+ bind, I mean, you know, she could actually be a really decent support for this. And if target's main speed is lower than the user by 3 or more, like she could also tank the enemy's speed too. For both this and for this. So I think this has some good potential as a really good potential as a support for speed, actually. This seems pretty good, honestly. And then Salute. At X plus speed, coin power plus Y. Clash win, deal more damage based on clash count, sure. On hit, declare duel. On kill, heal sanity. Okay, declare duel. This thing is a SA, sure. In a clash between the unit that inflicted the declared duel, so in a clash between herself and the unit with the status, the declarer has X plus clash power and gains haste next turn after a successful attack. So, okay. So, this inflicts declared duel on hit. So this declares duel on hit, so this effect will only happen the next turn and the subsequent turns, I guess, because it would happen after the clash already happened. Like the benefit you would get would be after the clash already happened. You would gain haste next turn after a successful attack though, which would be your skill 2 or your coin 2 rather. So you would get this skill also gives you haste next turn because you declare duel on coin 1 and then you would hit them and get haste next turn. So it still gives you some benefit. Effect lifted when the unit that declared the duel declares it on a different target. Replaced when another unit declares a duel. So you can only have one duel opponent at a time, I guess. Sure. I think this is a neat effect. I think this is a neat effect. So she basically she has a marking mechanic. She marks a target, and then every time that she hits the target, every time she clashes with them, she'll have bonus clash power and gain haste every time she hits them. Which seems really strong, like really strong. To be honest, that seems really good. So that also is just a neat mechanic, I think. It looks pretty cool, I'm gonna be honest. On kill, heal sanity on yourself. I mean, that's more for flavor than anything. I don't think this will really ever come up majorly, but I mean, it could be good for, like, you know, after an ego usage or something, recharging yourself, or you know, getting yourself going early into a fight, maybe. But like, the thing is, if you're killing someone with this, the duel goes away. That's the thing, right? Because the unit will die. Like, the thing is, if you're using this to kill someone, the first hit is going to switch your duel to the dying target, like the person you're trying to kill. The first hit will switch your duel, and then the second hit will kill them. So it'll just eat the duel, and you'll have to wait until another cycle of your entire kit to get to another skill 3 to redeclare duel on someone else. So I feel like there's a little bit of anti-synergy there. I feel like you would just never really want to play around this. It's more of just a fun bonus towards the end of a fight, maybe. But you don't really want to play around it as an initial setup tool, maybe. I don't think. It's kind of not the same as like maybe fishing for an early Gripper Faust execution. Because that skill would boost your, the sanity of the whole team early on into a fight. It's very, very rewarding to hit execution early into a fight because it gives everyone sanity, right? Uh, so like, if you're all at 0 is what I mean by early into a fight. It's like if everyone's starting at default 0 sanity, right? And you want to get a jump start, uh, you would want to, if you hit this, it's a huge reward, right? But I don't think it's the same here. I don't think you would want to set up early into a fight with this, to give her an initial boost of sanity, just because it removes her duel mechanic, which I don't think is, like, what you really want to be doing. Defensive skill is an evade, target loses sanity. Okay, I mean, that's kind of funny. Not super great, but evade skills are obviously the best, and it's, what is it, the second defensive skill that is not a counter, that has a Sin Resonance on it, uh, which is really neat. I think they should definitely experiment with this more, giving defensive skills Sin typing is definitely really, really good. Because it actually incentivizes you using them in battle instead of for stalling, because that's basically what they're used for, is either gimmicks like solos and stuff, or stalling. Uh, and just like using it as a way to not attack the enemies. So, because when you use a defensive skill and it doesn't have a Sin Resonance, you lose tempo and you lose value for using it, right? Because you're not dealing damage, and you're not getting any Sin resource out of it either. So it's like a lose-lose situation, pretty much. So, I think this is going in the right direction. They figured it out with NCorp Sinclair as well. They were like, yeah, okay, we don't want to give him a counter, but we don't want him to lose tempo, and we want him to use, like, we want the defensive skill to be a actual part of his kit to incentivize people using it, so we're going to give his guard skill a Sin Resonance. And I feel like, that's kind of what they're doing here. And, the Declare has X plus X Clash Power also applies to the Evade as well, I can only imagine. So, if you want, you can just evade constantly, hypothetically, depends on how much the plus X actually is. But hypothetically, you could just use this evade on the dual partner over and over again and farm pride, which would be funny. Anyways, a noble duel. Speed of all allies is higher than the speed of all enemies. This unit deals more damage based on speed difference between it and the slowest enemy. That is neat. I'm sure you know, if you've watched my streams, you would know. I heavily abuse Crow's Eye View in hard mirror dungeon and like hard content. This ego gives 3 haste to all allies, so it makes sure, essentially, that all of your allies will be outspeeding. And the whole point is that it, allows you to redirect clashes and do whatever you want, right? But this also is an extra layer of value that you get off of outspeeding everyone. Depends on how much this more damage is, but I mean, the speed of all allies is higher than the speed of all enemies is not the hardest thing in the world to accomplish. You literally just use Crow's Eye View once and you're already there, which is good. Dueling Request. If speed of all allies is higher than speed of all enemies, the fastest ally does more damage based on the speed difference between it and the slowest enemy. This is also a phenomenal support passive, actually. This is a really good support passive. Much better than all of her other ones, I'm pretty sure. I mean, her She-Section one gives, what, slash damage, which is niche, but nichely good. And then Broken Spirit is decent. It's like a good one, but it's on Resonance. And then, niche, this is also nichely good. But I feel like this is probably going to be her best support passive. Like, imagine this on Rabbit, again, because Rabbit's usually going to be the fastest, right? Rabbit is probably, especially if you're on a sick pop-off turn with like Body Sack passive or something, and he has like 15 speed or something, speed difference is going to be despicable, right? So, this is like a really good support passive too. If anything, I could see, if anything, okay, overall, I could see her honestly being used over W Corp, which is crazy, uh, in Mirror Dungeon 2. Couple reasons. One, her clashing seems way more consistent, across the board. 2 coins on skill 1 is already good. You know, way better than Rip. Rip is like a sad skill. It's a minor blemish on W Corp Don's on her portfolio, but 2 coin skill 1 already good, and it gains coin power, and it gives haste, and it inflicts bind. So it's also a support tool on a skill 1, which is really strong, like way stronger than Rip, right? So I could see her for that. And another major reason that I could really see, the main reason is because when you take W Corp Dawn, you're forced to take Teledon pretty much in order to make her consistent. And don't get me wrong, we all know Teledon is a stupidly good ego, right? But technically, it does not have the highest clash power potential in her kit. That goes to Fluid Sack. Fluidon can clash for a maximum of 38, so almost 40, right? Whereas Teledon, if you overclock it, can clash for what is that, 29, so 30-ish? So Fluidon actually has the highest clashing potential of her kit. And in Mirror Dungeon 2, there are definitely 100% times where you would wish you would have Fluidon over Teledon, just for the clashing power. So this ID, not being reliant on charge whatsoever, actually is pretty huge, for that usage. It's pretty huge for that usage, where you can now take Fluidon. The only problem is, you know, you'd have to uptie Fluidon, which is a damn shame, because I know damn well I'm not going to. But, you know, for hard mirror dungeon, this seems pretty strong. For hard mirror dungeon, you know, when clashing matters above everything else, pretty much, she is definitely a viable option, for sure, I think. Now for final rating, when I say meta, I mean just Railway. Pretty much just Railway. I'll give like 2 ratings. For Railway meta rating, prospectively, I think she'll probably be like, you know, a 2 or 3 out of 10. The odds of me replacing W Don for her, very small. Very small. It it would depend on the support passive over everything else, because if this can give an absurd amount of damage on the bench, we might be talking. And it depends on her normal passive as well. Because for everything else, we don't really care. If we're resetting for great RNG, bind, like, fights don't usually last long enough for bind to matter, too much. Because you can just reset for speed. So, you know, in that sense, her utility is much less value, in a very fast-paced scenario. Unless, of course, the fights go really long. Like, unless they really buff the fights, which I could see happening, in terms of just health, right? Because I don't know, I feel like when they see one turn Headless Ichthys, they're like, man, we gotta make this harder. But we'll see. But for now, I'd probably give her like a 3 in Railway. Like, she could be useful, but the odds of me replacing W Corp Don for her is very slim. And then overall meta rating, I think she'll probably be like a 7 or 8. She has extremely good potential. Everything in her kit actually just functions, bare minimum, which is really promising. You know, she's really funny. And she allows you to switch to Fluid Sack, which is a better ego in Mirror Dungeon 2 than Telepole is, which is, you know, really weird to say. But just because this thing clashes like an absolute god. So, yeah, I mean, this shows some solid promise. So, you know, finally, Don gets an ID. I mean, get excited, boys. We might actually have some other options here. Let's see what, let's take a peek on, you know, what's going on here. Great synergy with RB Ryoshu. And Spider Butt Eagle, a crafter for sure. A bit sad that season is skill 3 is 2 coins. I mean, it is what it is on the 2 coin skill 3. I don't really mind it that much as long as the actual numbers are fine. But yeah, I mean, seems pretty good, honestly. She has a lot of team play. What you like to see in IDs is like team synergy mostly, right? Like that's the main thing. When you're like rating IDs initially, like when you're doing like the kit reviews, you're looking for team synergy. Because that means that even independent of her clash numbers, she'll at least have value, right? Independent of her coin values, she'll at least have value. Independent of her damage, she'll at least have value. It was not really the same with Rhino because, again, like, all of his stuff was bleed, and we just don't care about bleed. Like, bleed is just not relevant right now. So, you know, independent of his utility, there was just nothing. Like, there was just no hope for him. That's why I rated him so low. So, yeah, I mean, Dawn seems really promising. Then we have Update Notice. This is going to be a long one, I think. Yeah, ego, banner and whatever. Identity thread. Oh, shit. I told you, boys. I told you. ID, UPTIE, and ego THREADSPIN tier 4. I told you. I told you it's not getting delayed. Everyone was always... Dude, I'm always right. Literally. Unironically, I'm always right. Everyone else and their mother was like, no, they delayed Railway, so that means they're delaying UPTIE tier 4 until mid-August. I know you motherfuckers were... You little weasels were like, yeah, they're delaying it. Wow. No. No, I said it in a community post like a month ago. No, they are not. You guys are just illiterate. And also stupid and dumb and stupid. No, I'm kidding. But, yeah, makes sense. You guys who are surprised by this are kind of illiterate. If you read the original notice, it just does not say that they're delaying UPTIE 4. So, I mean, those of you who are just spreading misinformation on Discord, I know who you are. I know who you are. Not a good look for you, boys. Not a good look for you. Pretty damn good look for me, though. Anyways, what do we got here? Added button to change the amount of information displayed on combat screen. Okay, so this is a minimize button, I guess. So, you know, to flip the tab in and out, sure. And then we have min, mid, and max, sure. Button to change the amount of information displayed on combat screens is added. Notes. Though this option is currently set to min by default, the default option should be max. Oh, for like the arrows, for like the combat arrows, where it's like showing where the clashes are going. Yeah, it is set to min by default. By default, it hides the clashes, and you have to go in top right and, like, you know, there's that little arrow button, like this thing, and you have to click that. It's like under the settings, right? Like, it's like under the settings button, and it's like you have to click that in order to show all the clashes. So, yeah, default option should be max. Fine, max will be set as default option. All right, sure. So I guess that was a bug or something. I don't know. Sure, I mean, you know, more quality of life, I like that. Each identity columns will now have aggro values. Hold on, let's just pop this image out so we can actually see what's going on. What is this? Each ID columns will now have aggro values attached to them. In focused encounters, so abno fights, basically, enemies are more likely to attack slots with higher aggro values. What is this? Gain 2 aggro this skill slot next turn. In focused encounters, slots with higher aggro values are more likely to be targeted. Okay. So this is this is like a taunt mechanic. They're adding a taunt mechanic. I really like that a lot. I really like that a lot. So they're finally introducing a taunt mechanic. This has been like a long time coming. For sure. This has been a long time coming, in order to make tanks useful. I think this is, like, really, really good, for the game. It adds a lot. This, depending on who they give this stuff to, this could add a lot to gameplay and tanks, especially tanks. And then what do we got here? Added weight, what is this? Attack weight UI added? What are we looking at here? We have attack depicting weight values. Oh, this is a much clearer pen. Yeah, I think I accidentally swapped the pen. UI depicting attack weight values, number of targets for AoE skills and their targets have been added. Thus, AoE and targets X slots have been taken off. So they replaced they replaced targets X with attack weight. Attack weight. So Pursuance has a weight of 3. It might be a little hard to see, but I can see it. Pursuance has a weight of 3 now. Okay. Yeah, it has a weight of 3 instead of AoE targets X. Sure. Okay. A little bit strange, but I'm assuming it has a purpose later. Hard rewards system changed. We all know it. Very nice. You only have to do 1 a week now. If you don't know. Modified Clash win-loss odds display conditions. Conditions for displaying different tiers of Clash win-loss odds and choice success rates will be changed as the following. UI display. Hopeless / very low. Oh, they're just changing the, they're changing the numbers. Okay, yeah. Favor, neutral. Okay, so they're just making it, they're making it a little bit more accurate. Like, the filter is going to be much more, the filter is going to be much more accurate now. Sure, fine. I didn't really use these, too much, because I just did it like mental math in my head. But, you know, for autoing and brainless, like, human content, I think it definitely is better. And then system changes to offense-defense levels. So the offense-defense level changes are going to be going through. Very cool. Finally, it's about time. Changed mechanism calculating offense, defense level gains, and losses. What the hell? Mechanism calculating offense, defense level changed as losses, before. Offense / defense level gain / loss N. Offense level gain N times 10% gain loss. Yeah, that is how it works. Offense level, defense level gain loss N. Yeah, they said this. So instead of losing 10% of your offense defense level, like when you get a offense level down, per stack you lose 10% of your offense level, right? Now you just lose 1 offense level. Like the number 1 offense level per stack. So, yeah. And then this is just going over everything that has interactions with offense levels. Sure, they're just like showing you the changes, and then same with egos. Okay, sure. Yeah, they mentioned this before. Ego gifts. Is this also, was that my phone that buzzed? Yeah, it was. Apologies. Yeah, these are all the same as well. It's just showing like offense level, defense level interactions that are going to be reworded and amended for the new system. Changes with basic ego and IDs. What the hell is going on here? Are we like, okay, so we're just adjusting a lot of egos. Changes to basic ego and IDs. Effects of certain basic egos and IDs will be changed. Oh, shit. So we're reworking a lot of egos here. Alright, wait, this is actually really, important. Major changes indeed. Alright. This is actually really important if they're doing this. When hit by an attack, gain 5 bind next turn, deal 20%. Yeah, this is like F tier, because you give yourself 5 bind. I don't know why. It's terrible. When hit, gain 3 bind next turn and deal 20% damage. So they nerfed, or I guess they buffed. They buffed the amount of bind you get, or nerfed it, whichever word you want to use. But it's better. It's better now, is what I mean. So they buffed Crow's Eye View passive. It's still trash. But you still don't want to self-apply blind. You still don't want to self-apply bind. So I don't think this really matters that much. It's just an annoying as fuck passive. In general. So it is what it is. At the start of the oh, this is Sangre, yeah. Start of the combat phase, gain haste and defense power down. Yeah, this passive is also completely useless. It's not actively detrimental. Like, this is one of the only, passives that are actively detrimental. Because you literally just, like, kneecap yourself. But this also just does nothing because Lust Absolute Resonance is just not, like, not feasible to activate. So, and then giving Dawn haste and defense power down, is just, like, not useful. Like, haste is not super useful on her. So it goes to, on hit if target had bleed, heal 3. That's really good, actually. That's a really good one. I like that a lot, actually. That's a lot of healing on multi-coin skills, especially, obviously. But it also gives purpose to bleed now. A little bit, because now Dawn has a literal, like, vampire effect, where she can now life leech off of anyone who has bleed. And this is a very significant amount of HP, too. 3 per hit, as long as the target's bleeding, is strong. That's a strong amount of healing. Ryoshu's was also not good because of the same reason Dawn's was. Wrath Absolute Resonance is just not feasible to activate. So, let's go. Dealing take plus 5% damage for each enemy this unit defeated last turn. Still not that good, but it's definitely much better, I think. I mean, nah, I think, honestly, I think this might have been better. I don't know if this is, like, actually ever going to get used. 5% is just way too small. And it has to be this unit, so Ryoshu has to kill them. So, you would have to use, like, in order to get any significant meaningful value, you'd either need her to get multiple slots, which is, like, usually not worth. It's only worth giving her multiple slots in very, very specific circumstances. Or you'd have to use, the AoE Ego. And just say that it kills, like, multiple people in one use, which is pretty niche. I don't know. I mean, both of these are about the same level as not super great. At least the slash damage up gave you 10% bonus instead of 5%. At the start of the combat phase... Oh, this is Land of Illusion? I don't even know what this does, literally. At the start of combat, heal sanity by... least sanity by... Gloom Absolute Resonance. Yeah, that's why. Like, another useless passive. At the start of the combat phase, heal sanity for ally with least sanity by the count of your highest absolute resonance, excluding those in panic. So it can't take people out of panic anymore. Okay, I guess. I mean, it's definitely much better. For sure, it's definitely much better. Now it triggers on any absolute resonance, which is really good. But, I mean, it's still very niche. It is a nice one, though. By the count of your absolute resonance is, like, 3. Usually, it would be, like, 3 or 4 sanity. So, I mean, that's not that much, right? So, it's still not super great, but at least it's usable now. Because Gloom Absolute Resonance was not easy to acquire. Body Sack? Oh, please. No, my beloved, don't nerf Body Sack. I beg you. I beg you. I love this. No! No, please. Gain 1 attack power up and 1 haste at the start. Max 3. No! 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 Oh! No way, bro. My beloved. No! What did they do to you? Oh my god. Wait, this is so fucking sad. I mean, it had to happen because it was, like, really, really strong, like, broken. But, like, dude, that shit was so fun. The 13 speed, 10 attack power up Rabbit Heathcliff and Railway, like, that shit was so fun, bro. Oh, come on, man. That's so sad. Fuck. Oh my god, wait. That's even, like, that's literally worse than, like, the Faust passive nerf. Oh my god, dude. Are you shitting me? That's so sad. That is so sad. Fuck. Alright. This is, another eco passive that is pretty much just detrimental. Loses 10 sanity whenever a unit on the other side dies. Great, I love that. Wow, that's fantastic. So now we, There we go, +1. So yeah, okay. So -1 SP loss efficiency. So she when she gains SP, she gains one more. When she loses SP, she loses one more. Sure. So she's more swingy. Fine. Uh, and then we got Branch of the Tree of Knowledge. This is a fine ego. It just doesn't synergize well with anything he has right now, but it's fine. Heads hit, inflict 12 rupture, lose 10 sanity. So he loses 20 for using this. Tails hit, heal 10 sanity. So he gets refunded for using it, I guess. I mean, it's definitely better design. Like, I don't know why. Like, why does he gain attack power down after using this? Like, it just doesn't really make sense to me. I don't know why he does. And, like, they should adjust the passive, too. Like, I don't know why they don't adjust the passive. Oh, they do. They do. Okay, I spoke too soon. I was like, dude, what the fuck? The passive is what really needs adjustment. The passive is super stupid and weird. Start of the combat phase, gain attack power up by Gluttony Absolute Res. Next turn, gain that much attack power down, and the above effect doesn't activate. Like, this is the goofiest passive. Like, this is just stupid. I don't know why. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. If a skills coin hits with a different side from the previous coin in the same skill, gain or lose 5 sanity and gain 1 damage up this turn max 3 times. What the fuck? I mean, it's definitely way more usable, but, like, it's so strange. I mean, I can only really see this being useful on N-Corp Sinclair when you just accidentally hit heads. You're, like, hitting tails, so you accidentally hit heads, but, like, again, even then, I don't... Like, why would you ever want this? I don't know. Like I said in the Sloshing Ishmael review, like coping passive, it's like a damage control passive, right? Like a bad thing happens, but this helps you make the most out of a bad thing. Those passives are always going to be much worse than passives that capitalize on good things happening, right? Like win more passives, like the old Heathcliff body set, and I guess new one, but I mean I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, man. Fuck. But yeah, win more passives are always going to be much stronger than coping passives that trigger when bad things happen, right? So you know, I mean, it's still not that good. Like you're never like the thing is you're still never going to want to use this. Like if your coins are hitting with a different side than the previous coin, it's just always a bad thing, right? Like it's just like okay, just never good. Pathos passive. This passive is really strong. I like it. It's simple but effective. If not hit once by an attack this this tum, I'm kidding, it's turn, but it's like really weird, I guess. The font, this tum. If not hit once by an attack this turn, gain 1 damage up next turn. What does that mean? Can stack up to 3 turns. Oh, so you keep... Wow. Wait, I thought they would nerf it. They're buffing it. If you don't get hit by an attack this turn, gain 1 damage up next turn, and you can stack it up to 3 tums. Holy shit. Wait, that's spicy. I already liked the passive. I already liked this passive, but this passive is really strong now, because it has ramping damage. It probably won't come up in Railway, because obviously I'm assuming it's going to be shorter content, but, you know, because this will take 4 turns to stack up to max. Because you need 1 turn to use Pathos. Next turn, it'll start counting, right? So you get, next turn you get 1, and then next turn after that you get 2, next turn after that you would finally get your 3rd. So it would take 4 turns, right? Because you'd have to use your Pathos here. To get it to count, right? So, I like that. And then we have Gregor. Suddenly one day, I mean, it's just not a good ego. At the start of the turn, if below 25, he'll, yeah, okay, random other, yeah, I mean, dude, I did not even know what this, passive did, because I've only ever used Suddenly One Day, like, a handful of times in Chapter 1, when I was just a beginner, didn't have Legerdemain, you know? At the start of the turn, if below 25% health, heal 15, gain 2 protection. When this effect activates, inflict one random other ally and one random enemy with +2 SP loss efficiency. I mean, it just doesn't matter. Like, okay, bottom line is this doesn't matter because you're using Legerdemain like all the time, so this is not going to come up. And even if it does, he's not going to hit 25% health very often, to be honest. Usually if he's low, like Gregor's IDs are all basically like very squishy. They're like glass cannons or they're drain tanks. Uh, and either way, if he's at 25% of HP, he's just gonna die before this ever goes off anyway, because all of his IDs are super squishy. So, you know, I mean, I couldn't really see this coming up, even if you weren't using Legerdemain. So, I mean, these are all some very interesting changes. Most of them are for the... Okay, to be real with you, all of them are for the better. I like all of these changes. They're all much better, except for, like, maybe the Ryoshu one doesn't really matter that much. I think they could have done a little bit better with that one. I wish they just scrapped the Isang passive, but, I mean, it is a buff, so it's a step in the right direction at least. And then, you know, the Sinclair, like, this kind of confounds me. This kind of confounds me. I don't know why he, like, needs to... Why Tails hit heal 10 cent... Like, what the fuck? I don't know. His entire base ego is just, like, one large damage control skill, basically. Like, you know, okay, I would love to hit heads, but then I get punished for hitting heads. And then it's like, okay, but if the bad outcome happens, at least I get Tails heal 10 sanity, right? Like, but it's just not, like, if you're using ego, you don't want to hit Tails. Surely, right? Like, usually. So you would never want this to happen. So this has no purpose. Like, there's no reason for that to exist. And then the entire passive, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, his other passive was just worse because it just did not do anything. And even if it did, he just, like, why does he gain attack power down? It does not make sense. Like, I don't know. I think they need to do, like, an overhaul on Sinclair's base ego. The only thing I like about it is the fact that it inflicts 10 Rupture on one skill, so you can stack a Rupture stack really quickly. But, you know, beyond that, the rest of the design of it is, like, extremely, extremely strange in my opinion. So, you know, changes I'm kind of against, explicitly against is, like, you know, this they could have done better, I think. I don't think this does anything. And then, I mean, we mourn the loss today of a good friend. He was a good friend. He saw me out through thick and thin, helped me deal damage, and, you know, set up my body sacks, set up my quick suppressions when it was in the bottom slot, so I couldn't body sack. It's sad to see him go so soon, but I understand that it's a sacrifice that we needed to make for the betterment and health of the game's future. I'm sorry. Alright, anyways, let's get to the rest of the patch notes, shall we? Sunshower SP loss condition added. Loses SP upon clash loss. But, like, why do I want to lose clash? Like, it's just like, what? Does counter skill count as a clash loss or what? I don't even... What is this? I mean, okay, the only time I can see this mattering is if the counter skill activates on clash loss. That is literally the only time, like, or it counts as losing a clash if you use the counter, which I don't think it does. Because, like, I don't, like, what? Like, huh? I mean, I guess it helps, technically, but, like, I can't really see where it would be that good. Sure. Fix an issue where Dead Center support passive would still be active during combat. I never noticed, but sure. And then this is Lunacy comp. Yeah, okay. Sure. Huge patch. Probably the biggest patch of the season. Genuinely. They're doing UPTIE 4. They're doing combat offense level reworks. They're changing they're changing this, which is nice. They're reworking the they're giving people aggro. They're reworking the AoE mechanic, and then they're reworking the offense levels. and they're nerfing and adjusting a bunch of base egos. Again, they're still it's good to see that they're still touching base egos, because I still think they're a little too strong. Anyways, UPTIE 4 baby, UPTIE 4 baby. Hello, this is Project Moon. Yes, sir. All right. Okay. Identity UPTIE tier 4. When an ID is uptied to tier 4, some or all of the following attributes may change depending on the ID. Skills, skill 1, skill 2, skill 3. Base power, coin power, skill effects, coin effects. Yeah, okay, so it changes like everything. Support passive effects and combat passive effects. Oh, that's huge. So if you're uptie 4, your support passive could get better. Wait, that's really, really interesting, actually. That is really... I was not expecting that. That's actually really interesting. Support passives could get better. Ooh, I actually really like that. That's actually really neat. Okay. I actually really like that. Okay, let's see. Notice on upcoming tier 4 threat identity. I mean, you know, it's just like, okay, yeah, we're getting, you know, you're getting better, you know. I see his skill 1 is now 5+6. Don't care about much of this. You know, like, okay, like, the thing is, it's cool to look at the example and be like, dude, this is what W Mersal's gonna be like. But it's like, okay, but there's not really much you could use in here to apply to all the other IDs to, like, speculate on what they would do. Because it's a case-by-case basis for UPTIE 4. So, you know, I mean, this is not really super indicative of anything. His skill 3 did double in coin power, though. Instead of 5+1, it's 5+2, apparently. So now it actually clashes for double digits, which is nice, I guess. But yeah, I'm not really looking at the rest of it. It is neat to see. And then Ego THREADSPIN, tier 4. Skills based away. Alkaining. Sure. Alkaining corrosion. Base power, coin power, skill effects, coin effects. Number of targets. Number of targets. Eesh. What the hell? Okay. Damn. Wait. Number of targets. Holy shit, no way. UPTIE 4, Rogia, 4th match Flame, attack weight 3. This is, UPTIE 4, this turns into an AoE of 3? And it keeps the 3 Wrath Fragility? Nah, bro. Wait, this is spicy, bro. This is spicy. Wait, this is really spicy, bro. Number of targets. I think that's awesome, bro. Wait, okay, so UPTIE 4, 4th match Flame, goes to a 3-slot AoE. And then, what do we have down here? Yeah, same thing. This is a, what is that? That's a 5-slot AoE? This goes from a 3-slot AoE to a 5-slot AoE on the corrosion? Oh my god, wait, that is spicy. I like that. That is spicy. Okay, wait, that's actually kind of exciting. I kind of like that. Very nice. Another thing I was not expecting to change with UPTIE 4, for sure. Number of targets and support passives, apparently, are getting changes with UPTIE 4. That is very exciting. This actually changes the way we play the game for in a major way. Because now this can be, like, extremely strong. Wrath Fragility next turn is really good. 3 of it. The only thing is, there's not really many Wrath nuke skills, at the moment. There's not really many Wrath nuke skills. It's pretty much just, like, Self-Destructive Purge is the only thing that will be really majorly benefiting from this. And then, like, yeah, just not much else. Ardor Blossom Star, I guess I could see benefiting from this. Ardor Blossom Star could benefit from this. Liu's skill 2 is also Wrath, I'm pretty sure, which is like her main DPS skill, so I could see that benefiting from this. And then, like, Ryoshu 4th match Flame, I guess. But, I mean, probably I'm going to be using Red Eyes. Probably. Because AoE is just good. Cheap AoE is just good. So, I mean, this is really exciting. For sure. That's actually, I was not anticipating that. Combat and support passive adjustments is very, very interesting. I was not expecting them to do that for UPTIE 4. And then number of targets is crazy. I'm actually surprised that it does not say ego passives. I'm surprised that they're not touching ego passives with this. That would be really spicy, I think. That would be really spicy. But number of targets is a very exciting prospect, because now technically anything, like quote-unquote anything, could be AoE. I mean, within reason. Like, we're not going to be, we're not going to be, like, giving everything AoE or anything. But, maybe we can get some adjustments on some egos. Like, maybe some egos will turn into like 2-slot AoEs or something. I don't know, but that seems really, really really good, honestly. I don't know. I think this is really fucking strong. I don't know. I mean, that's really exciting. Because now we get, like, the thing is, this is extremely, this is like extremely meta shaking, more than the IDs probably, because now this goes to an insane setup tool that it was not before. This goes into an insane setup tool and a DPS ability. I'm pretty sure this is still, if I saw it correctly, this is still a negative coin. Yeah, it's like, what is that? 38 minus 18? That's a minus right there. So, I'm pretty sure it's still a negative coin, which is not that great, but the possibilities of some of these egos is very, very big, in terms of, like, we might want to take specific sinners that we didn't before, just because their egos might be extremely strong with UPTIE 4, because number of targets, and then, like, boosted effects and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's really, really exciting. I think. So, that's crazy. That is crazy. Alright, resources required. I imagine it's going to be expensive. 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. Sure. So, 1 star season 1. Ego shards times 20, thread times 50. So, you don't automatically get UPTIE 4 on base IDs. What? LCB Center IDs and base ego are automatically uptied and thread spun to tier 3 based on story progress, but they require the displayed amounts of resources to be upgraded to tier 4. Okay. That's very interesting, actually. That's really interesting. I think that's kind of fair, honestly. If UPTIE 4 is going to be really, like, that impactful, I think it should be. I don't think you should get it for free. Honestly, I don't think you should get it for free. I think you should have to, to invest something in it, because if they're really that strong, then the game will be massively power crept by base IDs, because everyone will just be using base IDs. If the difference between UPTIE 3 and 4 is that big, everyone will just use base IDs, basically, if you get all of them for free, right? So, and the thing is, the tier 3 base IDs are perfectly usable, like, extremely usable. So, I think that's fair. And then, 2 stars, season 1, Sinners, Ego Shards, times 30, thread times 100 for 2 stars. Wow, okay, so, okay. 100 thread for a 2-star UPTIE 4. That is interesting. And then 3 stars is where we really get spicy. Season 3, or 3-star season end Sinners, Ego Shards times 50. How did I know it was going to be 50? Thread times 150. Sheesh. I think I'm sitting on 1200 thread right now. Just about. I'm sitting on 1200. That'll give me what? 1200 over 3, so 4 times 2 is like 8-ish. So that'll give me like 8 UPTIE 4s-ish. Something like that. It'll give me about 8 UPTIE 4s. Considering a team of Sinners is 12, that's a little bit nerve-wracking, but like, some UPTIE 4s are not going to be as relevant as others, obviously. Like, so we're probably not going to have to, make a full 12 Sinner lineup with every single ego UPTIE 4. Let's check the ego prices. Ego Shards times 80 for Zion. Ego Shards times 80. Thread 110. Oh my god, that's expensive. Especially for base egos. That is expensive as fuck. Sheesh. Tet tier 90, 130. Hay tier 100, 150. Oh my god. Dude, that is fucking crazy. Okay, if the prices are this high, I imagine like UPTIE 5 is either not going to happen ever, like this is either the last threading tier that they're going to add, or it's going to be a very long time. Like they're not going to add a threading tier a season or anything, because this is going to keep people very busy. Like this UPTIE 3 took very little investment. This is going to be like a multi-season endeavor to get all of your IDs UPTIE and egos UPTIE 4 and THREADSPIN 4, right? This is going to be a multi-season endeavor. So this is going to be a fucking long one, boys. So because this shit is so expensive, make sure when it launches, I'm going to be making either videos, separate videos, or one long ass video, or a stream. I haven't decided yet, but in some way or another, I'm going to be reviewing every single UPTIE 4 and THREADSPIN 4 thing in the game, so that you don't spend your resources like stupidly, because this is an insane amount of resources you would be investing. So if you want to know what to spend on, because again, I'm always right. It's kind of weird, but I'm always right about the meta, mostly because I am the meta. I make the meta, basically. So, you know, whatever I say eventually becomes the meta. So, if you want to know what to spend your shit on, and not waste stuff, then, you know, look forward to that. When the patch drops, I'm going to be reviewing literally everything in one form or another. Again, I haven't decided. I've been thinking of either doing one super long video with everything, or doing 12 separate videos just to go over each individual sinner's stuff. So I'd have like a video dedicated to UPTIE 4 and THREADSPIN 4 Isong IDs and egos, and then you would go to like Faust IDs and egos, right, as separate videos. To make them more viewable, like easily viewable, so that you know, I would put timestamps if it was like one long video, but some people, you know, just want to you know, have a separate video, you know, so it's either one long video, like 12 mini videos about each individual sinner going in detail, or I would just stream it. Basically, and then the VOD would be, you know, whatever review, and I would timestamp the VOD. But, you know, whichever one I decide to do, I'm going to do one of them. And again, this shit it's super expensive. So if you don't want to waste any of your resources, look forward to that. If you're not subscribed, you should subscribe so that you know what to spend your money. Money, ego shards, thread, lunacy, whatever. So you'll know what to spend all of it on. And if you already are, thank you. And thank you for watching. This is going to be an insane patch. This is definitely going to be the biggest patch of the season for sure. Very, very much. So, you know, this is going to be huge. I'm very excited. Because I'm super excited because of how expensive it is. Odds are people are not going to have like. It makes me nervous because it says to me like, if you want to compete at the top level, you might need to pay money to get UPTIE 4 on everything. But the thing is, like, in Railway Season 1, you could compete at the top level without using, like, meta units. Like, again, I had a team with, like, 4 or 5, like, non-meta units, and I got a score of 61. And at that point at that point that I got the score, it was second best score in the world. And the top one player who beat me at that point in time, the one player who was ahead of me had a 59, and they got it they did not own Hexnail. They did not own Hexnail, and And like a couple other things, like their Esong fourth match flame was like uptie 1. Granted, Esong fourth match flame uptie level does not really matter, but you know, just to show, like, you do not need to have like completely maxed out 100% of the meta stuff in order to compete at the top level. So that's what I'm excited for. Hopefully this is not like pay to win, and uptie 4 is not so broken that you need to pay every single unit to have uptie 4. Hopefully, because that would suck for me, because I don't like spending money on this game. I don't like spending money on gacha games. I don't care who the company is. I just don't like spending money. And then, so, you know, uh, what I hope this will achieve is, you know, at the top level, you're going to see many different, like, team comps and experimentation with different uptie 4 units. Like, you know, maybe this runner is, you know, it has, like, uptie 4 Ting Tang and uptie 4 W Don and uptie 4 Rabbit, right? But then, you know, maybe I am like, okay, you know, but what if I like uptie 4 Gripper, Faust, and Sinclair, and then uptie 4 Chef and Isang or something, right? Like, you know, there's a lot of potential diversity here. As long as it's just not straight up just pay to win, which is a little bit nerve wracking. But even if it is like, even if it is that nuts, you know, I'm sure like I'll still be able to compete at a top level, even if I don't have a full 12 people at upside 4, and stuff like that. And egos too. Like egos, it depends. Egos are fucking expensive, bro. I don't know if anyone's gonna like invest heavily into egos, especially the hate tier egos. Are gonna be rough. So we'll see. But you know, until then, tune in, like, stay aware of my uploads. It's probably going to be either usually I would do it like Thursday morning, because patches come out for me on Wednesday night at like midnight ish. So I probably like make it stream like Thursday afternoon or something. I don't know. I always announce my streams a day in advance. Or you know, you can look forward to an update or an upload. If I decide to do videos, I would look I would probably post them like Thursday evening or something. I don't know, but you know, if you're not subscribed, subscribe so you actually know what to do. Uh, so you actually know what to do. And you know, other than that, you know, thanks for watching. I'm really excited for this overall. This seems really crazy. But yeah, there's your patch rundown for the biggest patch of the season.